Welcome back to yet another map video where we take a look at the best maps I found and created. So let's get started. This first map shows us the most popular soda in every European country. Yeah, it's mostly Coca-Cola, unlike Dobre Cola in Russia and Compal in Portugal. Even though I'm not so sure about that, Compal should be a fruit juice if I'm right. But people from Switzerland, I've heard that the drink you drink is actually insane. Am I right? The world according to Bhutan. But you know, a better title for this one would be the countries where Bhutan has an embassy. Because you know, having an embassy in a country and actually recognizing them are two different things. You see, Bhutan, for example, recognizes the United States and the United Kingdom, but for whatever reason doesn't have an embassy there. So they don't show up on this map. Most common ancestry in the United States. But be aware, it's self-identified, so basically where people think their ancestors are from. Well, as we can see, the German, Mexican and African American ancestry is leading this map. But Americans, tell me, is this map any true? Do you actually recognize yourself like this? This next map shows us the internet access in Africa. Basically, what percentage of these countries has internet access? Honestly telling, Nigeria is a surprise to me. 45.5% has internet access, that means over 100 million people. The saddest country on this map is the Central African Republic with only 10%. Meanwhile, the winner here is Morocco with over 90%. If you're African and you're watching this video, that means you have internet access and I'm happy for you. This next one is really interesting. 1 square equals 1% of the world's population, but be aware, it was made back in 1996, so 30 years ago. And it was back when CIS actually meant something else. It was the Commonwealth of Independent States, kind of like the Russian version of the European Union. Countries where it's illegal to spank children. It is prohibited by law only in 51 countries, from South America to Asia to Europe and more. So, as you can understand, over 140 countries don't have an appropriate legislation. While most of Europe says that hitting kids is bad, then Italy says Giovanni gets the whip for stealing my pasta. This one is really cool. China's high-speed railway network overlaid on the United States. But you know, it's not really possible in the US because all the tracks are in China and it would take a huge effort to bring them over to the United States. Okay, I should stop using the laughing dog. Anyway, it's honestly crazy how similar the United States and China look in shape. I mean, even the western parts of them are sparsely populated deserts, aren't they? Global 5G availability by country. India seems to have gotten a good deal on 5G equipment back in 2022 and 23. Also, shout out to the one guy right at the center of Australia. Bro avoids people entirely but still has 5G. And then Chile is also surprising. Santiago and nearby area is probably like 80% of the population and they have 5G. This is the change of the white population in Africa in 1960 versus 2024. There are 3 ways to explain this situation. Firstly, decolonization, secondly, apartheid in South Africa, and thirdly, the economic and political instability. Electrification of railways around the world. Percentage of the total route. What does this mean, you might think? Well, literally explained, this is the percentage of the world's train tracks that run on electricity instead of diesel. And according to last month's data, India is on 95%. That is crazy. I think you might recognize this map. It's Actually not about the sun eclipse, but it's about Airbnb. This was where Airbnbs were fully booked last week. I must admit, my sister saw the sun eclipse in the United States last week, so I'm quite jealous because I'm here in the cold Estonia. But did you see the sun eclipse and how was it? Listen carefully. The westernmost point in China is closer to Germany than it is to its easternmost point. Are you kidding me? China is really big. If you didn't know, China is the third largest country by total land area, 9.6 million square kilometers. What you can see are all the countries that were mentioned in the Bible, so in total 25 countries. Israel and Palestine are the most mentioned countries in the Bible. But I beg you, please don't start a war in the comments. These are all the countries that don't allow Russian passport holders. In total, 6 countries, including my home country, Estonia. And you might think that Ukraine also goes here, but it's funny because there is no such formal restriction on crossing the border between Russia and Ukraine, but other restrictions apply. Rates of travel across the United States back in the 19th century. Yeah, basically going across multiple mountain ridges and valleys with rivers. But still, most travel would have been done by boat when possible, because it was much faster to go that way, along the coast. Expulsion of Jews in Muslim countries. More than 800,000 Jews fled violence and discrimination in their Arab homelands between 1948 to 1972. Also, it seems to me that Iraq and Iran have been switched here. Sorry about that. When did women get the right to vote in Europe? Can you believe it? Switzerland only in 1971. Fun fact, the right for women to vote in Finland actually predates Finland's independence by more than a decade. But actually in Finland, men got the right to vote at the same time as women, so they really didn't have inequality between sexes even before that. But all in all, mostly women got the right to vote after World War I. Map of most tea consumed in Europe. Isn't it crazy to think that Turkey drinks more tea than the United Kingdom and that Ireland also drinks a lot of tea? But I love how Poland is just one. No more, no less. Just one. When a band announces a world tour, yeah, let's go. I don't know. Maybe 3 cities. Not a chance. No. World tour? Probably. In 7 years, we might. If you're still here, comment I love maps and I'll be happy, I guess. Okay, until next time. Bye bye.